So we definitely want to touch on AI because almost all of us have AI features on the roadmap. Some of us are in AI first companies. So I'm just using two slides, giving credit to Mary Meeker, who after like I think 5-6 years, she came out with an AI trends report. She used to come out with the internet trends report for many years in the Valley. This chart is showing the growth rate of ChatGPT users compared to internet users. And it's just showing that what internet took 23 years to come up to, ChatGPT has done in 3 years. It is a singularity event. Things are changing so fast. New models are coming on board so fast that it is almost hard to keep up with everything that is happening. But what is getting clear is that AI is almost becoming like running water. You see that 99.7% reduction in costs over 2 years for AI inference costs, right? With open source models like DeepSeek, with changes in hardware capacity, I cannot even articulate all of the changes. What is clear to me in terms of changes is that code is essentially becoming free. Even in our company, last year we had hired 3 or 4 engineers to build a product. Now Akhil is actually a CTO. I have started building applications on the weekends, not just Akhil, and I know zero amount of programming. I think we are coming to a point where code is going to become free, not just AI. Software mostly deflates, even before AI. And software has been deflating ever since, early 2000s. And, food inflates, but software deflates. Now think about what is going to happen when AI becomes so cheap and almost free, and that code becomes free. So the deflation rate of software is just going to be through the roof. Therefore, the fundamental assumptions on we're building a product that has a moat based on code and just pure software is slowly going to eradicate, right? There are other things that become more important in this day and age, and that is relevant to pricing, because if things are so cheap, then you can have these competitors come in and commoditize your product far more early now than it used to be earlier. And in my consulting engagements, I've seen that services start to become more important because your services are hard to commoditize. If you have a good team, that maybe goes a lot more than just the code itself. So that's the larger point I'm trying to make. SaaS has historically had 80+% gross margins, some upfront costs. So it's a very interesting phase where SaaS had a lot of high margins. This industry of SaaS has been based on annual recurring revenue. VCs give you funding for that. That is the basis of exits, right? You get a lot of funding upfront and then you run the business. But now almost all of these foundation model companies are losing money still. They're still losing money. They're losing money in billions of dollars, even though they're growing that fast, even though the inference cost is reducing. So gross margins are still fairly low. Now they may increase, but because of commoditization, they may not increase. So gross margins are low for AI applications. At the same time, AI applications may not be, they're not deterministic applications. And they're improving, but they're still not deterministic, which means that it can be hit or miss. So AI applications are fundamentally different from SaaS. If they're so fundamentally different, they have to be charged on a usage-based basis, because you may start to lose money if you offer per user pricing. Okay, so if you're doing usage-based pricing with AI application with low gross margin, you're not going to be valued the same way as a SaaS company was valued earlier. That hasn't changed impact on how you hire. There's so many other things that change, right? So this slide is just making the point that if you are just an AI business, you should not think of yourself like other SaaS companies thought. You should not think of your pricing like SaaS companies thought, because you are not a SaaS company. You are actually a different breed. And if you're thinking about building new AI applications, understand that the economics are changing rapidly. At the same time, you have to figure out the pricing models for all of your AI applications. You almost have to treat it as a separate bucket if you have an existing SaaS offering. We're going to cover some of those examples in this presentation, but this is why I'm highlighting this. You have to treat it specially and differently.